Beth with 50 Plus Beauty, and I'm so glad you could be with me today for my collab on this wonderful Makeup Revolutions palette called the Ultra Eye Contour Light and Shade Palette. This is a dupe for this other more expensive palette, the Kat Von D Shade and Light Palette. This is the light and shade, this is the shade and light. And I am going to be doing a video actually comparing these two, and the results are not as clear-cut as you would think. So if you're interested in learning more about that, please subscribe to my channel because that video will be up fairly soon and the results are not what you would think, I have to admit. But the main reason for this collab is to introduce you to my good YouTube friend Shelly from Geek Out of Water, and her channel link information is down below this video, so I hope that you will visit her channel and check her out. Shelly is absolutely amazing. She's a little bit younger than we are, and she has this amazing luminous skin. She's absolutely beautiful. And more than that, she is excellent at makeup application. In fact, I found her when I was looking for makeup tutorials online, so I started watching hers, and quite honestly, I started binge watching her channel because I was so interested in her makeup application techniques. Being a little bit younger than we are, she helps us kind of get out of our box a little bit and maybe go into some more strong colors and things like that, and I really do appreciate that. Now let's get into the main point for today, which is to show you this eyeshadow palette in action. And in fact, this eyeshadow look was created from this palette. So let me go take my makeup off and I'll meet you back here. Okay, let's go ahead and get down to this. I'm so excited to show you this eye makeup. And I'll also be doing not just eyes, but also my blush and my lipstick to kind of give you an idea of the overall look for everything. Okay, again, we're using the Revolution Makeup Light and Shade Palette, which looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes first. And first, I'm going to do this shade right here. And what we're going to do is take a little of that, and we're going to spread that a little bit on lid. So we'll go ahead and do that on lid. And as you can see, these are very heavily pigmented shadows. I especially notice that on these light colors because on the Kat Von D it is not nearly so pigmented, surprisingly enough. And I always get in this center corner here just to lighten up on that blue there. Now, let's go ahead and do the transition shade, and I'm going to be using this shade. I really, really, really like this one. It's kind of a light brown with kind of a tauped out, kind of a gray color to it. And I'm going to be using to apply, and I do love this brush. This is the MAC 221 brush, and everyone raves about this. And okay, and then I just kind of come in, and you know, if you're over 50, chances are that you have hooded eyes aside. So basically what you want to do when you have hooded eyes is you want to go above where your natural crease is, because your natural crease kind of goes south. So that's how we do. We just kind of do a windshield wiper motion there, and that's the transition color. Okay, there we go. So that's all on. I think that looks pretty even. Even that little hooded side looks a little more like it's a little less hooded. Very good. Then I'm going to go and add a little more drama here on the outside. And I think what I'll do is use this darker brown color right here. And I'm using a Sephora brush, and I absolutely love this brush. This is called the Small Shadow, the Pro Small Shadow brush. One thing I've noticed in the kits that I've been buying is that they seem to have a lot of big fluffy face brushes and a lot of large eyeshadow brushes. But one thing I think they generally lack is these smaller, more detailed brushes that do something like your outer little triangle. Do it on the other side there too. And then we're going to take that a little bit above, and basically what you're doing is you're making a little triangle above. It's almost like a little 7. You're doing the 7, and so to do the 7 you kind of go straight across here, and then you're doing what looks like a little B on the outside. Okay, now we also need to go in and blend, which was something I never used to do. But this is the MAC 217 brush, and I really think this is an absolutely great blending brush. And you don't want to really wipe a lot of the shadow off, but you just want to make sure that your lines that you've done of shadow are nice and blended in. Okay, there we go. Those are nice and kind of even looking, I hope. Okay, now, this is the drama part. And on this particular palette, I have used this week this little burgundy color, which I really do like. But I'm going to go in with a little bit of the black. I really did kind of like how that looked. So let me make sure to always tap off your brush, and I tap it off over the pan that it came from. So we'll just do a little bit of darkening here. And then we're going to go up and just follow that 7 crease line that we discussed a little earlier. And then I'm going to do it on the other side. But that scares me a little bit because of this light situation in here, because I could really be doing something that's looking a little strange. But we hope not. Always, one thing I've learned from YouTube that I really like is to go in under and do your eyeliner with the shadow that we used. I think I'll be a little more dramatic since I got that black going up there, and I'll go in with this brown color here, and we'll just go ahead and do a little line there. And I always bring the line up on the edge, it's kind of like you're doing an arc underneath your whole eye. And when I've got such a tiny brush that I'm using, I don't necessarily tamp it off, because when I'm doing the under eye, I really do want some pigmented color down there. And this brush is a wonderful e.l.f. brush that I use pretty much for that purpose. And it is called the concealer brush. And it is a little tiny thing. And it is $1, as a lot of the e.l.f. brushes are. But it may say concealer, but it's absolutely perfect for this under eye liner type thing. And then I'll go in, and I always like to do a little water lining. It's from Sleek Makeup, and it's the Twist Up Eye Pencil. You can see that there. And I really like it for water lining. And the neat thing is, it's only like $3 or $3.50. It is really inexpensive. And I have had this one for maybe 6 weeks, and it is still going strong. And basically we need to brighten our eyes and make them more prominent and make them a little larger. And that's what this little puppy does. And this is the Anastasia Pro Pencil in the color base 1. There we go. That's how that looks. And I also, some other women use white pencils. You know, I suppose if you have naturally very good whites of your eyes, then white would be the color to go, because you're kind of trying to make it look like your eye is a little bit bigger. But mine tend to be rather yellow. I don't know if that's age or what. So to me, this off-white or this taupish color kind of works better than the white, because the white really sticks out like a sore thumb on me. So you do that. Now the next thing I do, and for a while I was fighting blue pencils, because I always loved blue pencils, and now I realize why. Especially if you're blonde, the black eyeliners that you use can be quite harsh. You know, once in a while it works, but it can be quite harsh, and the brown is a little bit dull looking. And so I love navy blue eyeliners. They really don't look navy blue on your eyes so much, but what they do is they whiten the whites of your eyes, and they give you a little bit of sparkle. And especially if you have blue eyes, which I sort of kind of have blue eyes, at least I do with my contacts in. Actually, they're brown. There's another thing you know about me, is that I actually really have brown eyes, but I like blue eyes better, so I'm blue right now. This is my wonderful eyeliner that I found recently that I just love. I use it. It's the Flower Longwear Eyeliner Pencil, and it is in the color Sapphire. And what I do with this, and I really like this formulation, because I had been using some pencils that seemed to be a little bit chunkier, and they didn't apply very smoothly, and this one seems to go on very nicely. And I just kind of go under there. And then sometimes I'll do a little bit on the upper lid. I'm not sure if I should do this, but we'll go ahead and put a little on the upper. You've got to kind of go in there and keep repeating, or you have little white places that you're missing, which is never good. Okay, and I'm going to fix that kind of broken line that I have in just a minute. I'll show you how to do that. This one is an e.l.f. Smudge Eye Sponge, and that's what that looks like. And again, it's just $1. And I think e.l.f., you know, they have a more expensive line of brushes, and they generally have the black, handles. And the white ones, I think, are all $1 a piece, which I really like. Now I think I need to go back a little bit right there, because I rubbed off a little of that edge. Okay, there we go. The eyeliner is on. Sometimes I leave the eyeshadow just as it is and don't add anything, but a lot of the time I like a little bit of glitter, and so I mostly go in with matte eyeshadows, but then I'll come in with something like this. And this is the Maybelline Color Tattoo 24 Hours in Pink Parfait, and I absolutely love these little things. What you can do is just go in on the inner part of your upper lid and just give yourself a little bit of shine. And I really like that, and I think the pink is kind of a nice, natural looking color. It doesn't really look pink. It looks like a nude or something like that. And then what I'll do is take this and go do a little bit of a dab on the inner corner, and maybe a little bit on that first part of the lower lid, and maybe a little bit on the first part of that upper lid. And then you do the same on the other side. And really, normally it's a good thing to use a little tiny brush, like that little tiny elf brush. Now we are ready for mascara. And I'm going to use a different one today. Normally I use my CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume, and I can never ever say that. So, you know, today is no different. But today I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Sumptuous Extreme. There it is, L'Oreal Sumptuous Extreme, and it's in the color Extreme Black. And first I'm going to go ahead and kind of comb out my lashes, and I use a metal eyelash comb that I get from Tweezerman, and I absolutely love this little eyelash comb because I've noticed that the ones that are plastic, you really can't get those to go down on your lashes too easily. Okay, before I do mascara, I always go ahead and do a little lash curling, and I'm using the Tweezerman eyelash curler, which I really like. Kind of walk it out a little bit. So there you go there. I'm going to go ahead and apply this mascara, and we're going to hope it works because I really do like this mascara, but sometimes it's a little trickier. One thing I like about that CoverGirl brand is it's very, very easy to apply. Boy, that eyelash curler really took those eyelashes straight up, and I've noticed that they tend to stay curled throughout the day, which I really, really like. Now we'll go to the lowers. Some people use a different mascara on the lower. They say to use a waterproof one. And if you get a lot of smudging, that's probably a good thing to do. Then I go ahead and I use the little eyelash comb. And you can take it from the back side, and it gets rid of any clumps that you have. Mary Ellen, I'm sorry, I'm doing it again. I did that on another video. Normally I have brush cleaner that I spray on my Tweezerman, but in the kitchen, I don't have my utensils here like I should. So anyway, that's just the way that goes. I hope Mary Ellen's not watching, but you probably are because you're a sweetie. And if you have not gone to Mary Ellen's channel, you must be living under a rock. She is fabulous. In fact, she is probably one of the main reasons I'm on YouTube at all, because she, well, she's like up in her 60s. I'm not quite sure her age, but she does not look it. She's beautiful, she's confident, she knows who she is. She has like good Kansas common sense, which takes you a long way in life. In my husband's family, you know, his family is all from small Kansas towns, and the women in his family are just amazing. I mean, they have this backbone that just won't quit, and they're, you know, super common sense type women, and I super admire that. And Mary Ellen has that. She's amazing, and I'll put her link down in the channel description below. I have her down there whenever I have the room, because sometimes I don't have enough room when I do a lot of other description of things. But when I have the room, she's perpetually down there as one of my heroes, because she is. She's crazy amazing. And if you go to her channel, she'll probably become one of your heroes too. Okay, let me see, does that look strong enough? I think it does. You know, I use a fantastic lash product, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name. I'll try to remember to put it down in the description below, and I plan to do a video on it, but it has given me really, really long lashes. So I don't need length anymore, I pretty much just need some volume. And I think those look pretty good. There's, oh, I got that clump right there. Yay! I didn't have to use my my metal eyelash comb. and make Mary Ellen mad at me again because I got saliva on there. She's a nurse too, so she cares about that stuff. Okay, let's see. Okay, so those are the eyes. Okay, now you may be noticing that I have I have some black spots on my face, which I didn't think I'd tell you, but if you saw them, you know, you would probably notice and go, you know, is her husband hitting her? And no, he is not hitting me. I had Botox 2 weeks ago tomorrow, 2 weeks ago Monday, and I actually have a video, so please subscribe so you can see that wonderful experience. It usually is a wonderful experience getting Botox. I mean, I love it. I get it like twice a year now. I've gotten it for years, and it can be kind of preventative for new wrinkles. So if you can afford it and feel like you want to try it, you know, I highly recommend it. However, I'm not in a good position to recommend it right now because I got bruises that have lasted for 2 weeks. But I will tell you, I found an absolutely wonderful little product. This is the Hard Candy Color Correct Expert Palette. And in trying to deal with these bruises, in fact, they were so bad that I tape my videos on Friday afternoon because I'm off on Friday afternoons and it's very handy. But last Friday afternoon, I tried to shoot a video about that Botox experience, but even with makeup, I looked so terrible then that I could not bring myself to post that video. So anyway, I learned a lot about color correctors this week, and in fact, I'm going to be doing a video about it. I keep saying that, but I really will because they are wonderful. And I think I first kind of got wind of them from Natalie the Beauty Diva. Natalie the Beauty Diva. Is it Natalie or Natalie? That's kind of interesting. I don't know. Let me know, please, Natalie, if you're watching this. But anyway, she mentioned a not drugstore brand, but some other brand of color corrector to use where you have blue spots in here, or at least where I do. And I thought, I've got to get that. But then when I got the bruises, I thought, no, I don't just need one color. I need like the big kahuna, I need all four. So of course I went out and I ended up buying 3 different kits over about 4 different days because I kept buying these kits and finding out that they actually did not work very well. And I stumbled upon this Hard Candy one, and it is my go-to. I love this. But I'll kind of show you how it works. So on a bruise or a dark blue black spot, you use this little peach color. And so I hope that I don't like ruin my face and make you say, why is she doing that? I never even saw the black spot to begin with, but we hope that it will look better. And here it is. If you would like to see my complete Botox experience, please subscribe down there because I'm going to be releasing a video. In fact, I'll be shooting it this afternoon after this one, in which I'll show you what my bruises really look like. And they're not wonderful. And that experience was not too much fun. I still do like Botox though, I have to say, because it really is the only way to get rid of. I used to have major forehead wrinkles before I started Botox, and that was probably when I was 42 or 43, and I'm now 59. So I've been using Botox for like years. So anyway, okay, and then I also have this funky little red spot, which I'm actually dealing with that. I got a microderm machine from Home Shopping Network, and so I'm kind of using that to see if I can kind of get rid of that red spot, but we'll see. But what you use on the little red spots is green. It's kind of like Christmas. If you got red, you use green. And so I'll put a little bit on that spot, and we'll see if we can't kind of, uh-oh, that looks pretty extreme green, doesn't it? So, there we go. But I've got a little green on there, and you might say, well, she's got a big spotch of green on her face. You know, why does that help? Well, what you do, and I've learned this from the color correctors, and again, I need to do a video, and I will do a video to explain better how to use them. But I've noticed that, like, when you have green there, you know, if you rub it all out, you sort of lose the benefit that you gave yourself. So what I do is I get a little green there, and I take a little dab of my foundation, and I'm using this Millani Conceal Perfect 2-in-1 foundation, and I think the color is light beige. Yes, it is. And so I'll just take a little tiny bit of that, and I'm going to dab it on a concealer brush. And in fact, I got too much on there, so I'm going to dab it off a little bit on my little washcloth there. And then I just kind of go back over that with a little bit of that foundation. Fingers are always good. I'll go up a little bit in that dark blue line I've got there. Thread. It's like pulling a thread. You shouldn't necessarily really go there. Okay, so anyway, hopefully that kind of concealed my little black spots a little better. You didn't know you were going to get to know about concealing black spots today, did you? We have a little bonus. Normally I would use a loose powder, but I don't have any here in the kitchen right now. I didn't plan ahead. So I'm using this MAC Blot powder, and it is a pressed powder. and it is in color medium. And I actually got this for free. I ordered an eyeshadow palette, go figure, from eBay, and I guess, I didn't know that she didn't send it right away, but I guess she felt like she didn't send it, you know, in a timely manner. And so she sent me this free MAC powder, which was amazing because, you know, it wasn't like a CoverGirl powder. This thing was probably expensive. And so I've been using it and I really, really like it. So I do a little more blotting of that powder around there, do a little down there. Okay, there is that. Now, I have really been liking a certain blush, and that is the Flower brand. Let's see, Flower brand, there it is. And isn't that a sweet little thing? It really looks like a flower. And it's in Flower Pots. It's called Flower Pots Powder Blush in PB3 Wild Rose. And the reason I like this, in addition to the fact that it's my favorite pink, kind of fuchsia looking wild, you know, not wild rose, but it's my favorite pink looking blush, is that it wears like iron. There is another blush product which I really like, and it's the Tarte, what is it? The Tarte Amazonian Clay blush. And it wears, it's supposed to wear 12 hours, and oh my goodness, that stuff wears like iron. And actually this thing does too. Although I gotta be careful. I shouldn't have been talking to you because I went a little extreme on the blush, it looks like. And I kind of dab it on, especially because I have the concealer over those black spots. If I rub it on, I'm very likely to rub that off. Oh, and one reason I did the powder over the concealer, and you always have to, is whenever you put something oily or greasy on your face, you have to powder it or it's going to fall off, girls. Okay, and sometimes I go up here and do a little bit, just a little bit up there. I don't know why I do that. I did it in high school. And sometimes I even do a little bit here, just to bring the blush kind of up into your eyes. Kind of, I'm a matchy-matchy girl. Okay, now the last thing is lips. And I keep trying to veer off from my normal lip pencil that I use, and I'm having no success doing that. I have used the Revlon Color Stay lip pencil in mauve for like years. Probably as long as I've been using Botox, since I was in my 40s. Also, I am lip challenged, and for those of you who are lip challenged, I have been using the Derma Roller on my lips, and I have a nice video, you know, do subscribe again to see that. But it really has been helping me somewhat on my lips for sure. It's evened out the top lip. Okay, now I need to be quiet. And the thing about if you're challenged on lips, so you don't want to go down on the Cupid's bow. You actually want to go fairly straight across. And you can always line just a tad bit outside of your natural lip line. Not totally out, or you look kind of clownish, which is not a good look, especially for us more grown-up, mature women, because they look like they're trying very hard. And then it looks like you have a nice natural lip color underneath. Plus, I do believe this acts a little bit like a lip primer, and it really helps your lipstick adhere better, which is good. So what I like lately is this Flower brand in Tender Tuberose. It's LS3. And isn't that just the cutest little lipstick? I mean, I love that. You know, sometimes these drugstore brands, they really do have cute packaging. And the Flower brand really does. And as you can tell, I really do use this. Most days this week, I've used this lipstick. And it's funny because I didn't like it at first. And I thought it was too matte. And so for a while, I was putting lip gloss over it, which is something I do. However, I am starting to grow into this idea of mattes, even on us grown-up women. I don't know, I do kind of like the matte. Well, that is the look, and I have to admit that I realized the light was too intense and I couldn't really see it, so I went in the bathroom and looked, and I kind of softened down the outside wings because they were about to take off my face. They were so dark. In conclusion, I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already and give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And I hope you'll go out into the world today and shine, whether that be outside through great hair and makeup and skincare, or from the inside shining the gifts that you have in your heart to help others. Have a wonderful day.